So years ago, I was on a trip in Africa and I met with a man who used to live in Rwanda. And he shared his story with me about living through the Rwanda genocide and the ways in which he lost friends and family through horrific violence, murdered, just because of a small difference in their physical image. The Tutsis and the Hutus, and yet there is very little between the two, and yet mass murder happened because of the differences between the two. One of the key strategic motivations for this horrific genocide was being able to use language, language that dehumanized, language that made the other look inferior to the point where it was okay and justified to exterminate them. The label they used often was the term cockroach. See, if we could label somebody a cockroach, it's very easy then to justify extermination. In Leviticus, we read stories about people who become clean or unclean based on blood, bodily fluids, skin infections, diseases. None of these which are morally good or bad, but yet the stigma behind these things left many for their whole lives labeled as unclean, unfit to be part of the community. And for centuries and centuries, people lived with this Levitical code of who's clean and who's unclean, or better yet, I should say, who's better than others, who deserves superiority, who deserves to be the outsider, the exile, based on arbitrary bodily conditions that we ourselves didn't choose. We as humans are very prone to want to categorize, rank people to see where we stand. We obviously want to be at the top. And if it takes putting other people down, making other people cockroaches in order to feel more superior than others, history says we'll do it. Jesus comes along and tries to blow up this idea of who's in and who's out, or who's better than others. He even goes to the very people in the Levitical code that it says to stay away from. And so he embraced lepers. He healed women who had been bleeding for years. He even touched corpses as he raised Lazarus from the dead. He embraced the demon-possessed. He ate with sinners and outsiders. All the while, the religious leaders were just furious at this idea that this man would break rank with who should be in and who should be out, who is considered clean, who is unclean. And Jesus says that God's holiness is much more powerful than any moral or even Levitical contagion. See, we think that these people are contaminants. We think that to associate with them, to get close to them, somehow they would infect us and then our purity would be tainted. And Jesus says God's holiness is not that fragile. God's holiness is far more powerful than any moral, ritual, symbolic uncleanliness could ever try to impact another person. And so what ends up happening is Jesus becomes the contagion to bring holiness and healing and restoration and belonging into a people who have forever, from their perspective, felt excluded, felt worthless, felt like there was no hope. Jesus erases the boundaries that man has put on other people. And may we continue to do the same. See, even today we do a good job of deciding and categorizing clean and unclean people. Whether it be the poor, whether it be the disabled, whether it be the immigrant, whether it be racial skin color, whether it be a different political party. We label who is good and who is bad, who is clean and who is unclean, who is fit to be inside and who needs to be kicked out. And may we erase this boundary that we often put between us and our neighbor. Because if we're not careful, what starts out as simple language becomes a justification for the extermination, the eradication, the removal of whole peoples. May we, through the grace that's been given to us, knowing that we are all imperfect, we all have uncleanliness in us. May we, by the grace of God, embrace that we are all together in this. And that rather than trying to remove those in which we think will contaminate us, may we together embrace this grace that Christ has given us to live and serve in such a way where we stop fighting each other, we stop trying to remove each other, we stop trying to exclude each other, and may we begin to worship and celebrate our God together.